Welcome back to my channel here at TradeCG. My name is Sammy. Today we're going to talk about Bitcoin. TLDR, Bitcoin is not done selling off, and I'm going to show you why. Let's get straight into it. So I called at the top back on August 21st. I posted on my X August 21st. Go take a look at my profile, my bio, and check the link on there. So where am I going with Bitcoin right now? So how did I spot the top on Bitcoin a couple weeks before the drop happened? Well, let's take a look at price action history. Bitcoin in history likes to respect this 20 SMA. 20 SMA on the 3-day time frame, folks. And if you notice and zoom in a little bit more, you see that price rejected the 20 SMA multiple days, if not weeks. And once price finally failed to break above the 20 SMA, price then tanked. But I want you to go back a little bit. I want to go back in history yet again. This 20 SMA back in April 2024, again, price was rejected. You can break above it, but it never really broke out of the trend. Price respected or rejected the 20 SMA for multiple months and weeks. And you notice once we had candles closing above the 20 SMA, that's when we had another ripper to the upside. So I want you to pay a close attention to what I'm saying, because it's gonna pay fruit for a couple minutes forward. What I'm going to explain here. Again, notice on the 3-day time frame, this blue line acted as support, then resistance, and then support again for another ripper. Where is price action now, folks? Where is price action now? Okay, in price, where we are now, what is the 20 SMA on the 3-day time frame acting as? Resistance, okay? Resistance. If historically speaking, Bitcoin likes to basically use the 20 SMA on the 3-day time frame as support and then resistance, where are we now, folks? We're at resistance right here, folks. But it's not only that. Let's go on larger time frames, on the weekly, because that gives you more reliability. Let's go on the weekly, folks. Again, let's go back in time. And this time, we're on the weekly time frame. And we're going to add another tool in our repertoire. We're going to use this white line, which is my 10 EMA. And then the blue line is the 20 SMA. But with the 10 EMA, you get a little bit more reaction much quicker, right? So if you notice this white line, what happened here was acting as support, and then once price closed below on the weekly time frame, it was acting as resistance. And look what happened for weeks, for 42 days. But here's the kicker. Where did price find the bounce? This green and blue line is my 20 EMA, my 50 EMA and 50 SMA. Okay, SMA. Let's go back in time a little bit more, just to add confluence, because this is quite interesting. Again, notice notice my 10 weekly EMA, folks, acted as support. Watch this watch my arrow, and then once price broke below, it was acting as resistance. And look what happened on the weekly, folks. Once the 20 SMA and the 10 EMA weekly acted as what? Support. We had another gigantic ripper to the upside. And this is why I'm showing you this video, because I said, wait a minute. When I was doing my DTA back in August 21st, I said, whoa, something's going on here. Wait a minute. We're about to break below the 10 weekly EMA, and the 20 SMA is right under it. And thus, we broke below the 10 EMA, and look at the price rejection thus far. Now, if you notice in the history of when you break down, you're going to have sporadic days, or I should say days, where you're breaking, you're going to have a nice little ripper. You think it's going to the moon. Everything's good. We're back to the bottom. But no, look here, folks. Look here. Once we broke the weekly 10 EMA and SMA, price tried to break out, then rejected. Break up again, then rejected. Break up again, then rejected. So everyone's going to be pouring their money in around the ranges of, consolidating days. But if you really want to have the odds of finding the bottom, the absolute bottom, look at price history again. Back in August 2024, around this range, and September 2024. Well, look what price did. It was instantly bought at the 50 EMA and SMA. All right, fast forward back into May 2025. Again, price respected the 50 EMA and SMA. That's twice. So if we had to bet the odds again that price were to come back down, break below this 20 SMA, folks, break below the 20 SMA right here, then the odds are going to come back down to if we break below the 20 SMA, we're going to come back down and hit the 50 EMA and SMA yet again, and I have a sharp harmonic completion exactly at this pivot point, at this support zone. At this support zone is exactly when the harmonic finishes, adding confluence on the weekly, which has been a historic bounce and reversal every single time. So odds are, if price were to break below, it's gonna be at where the reversal might pan out is gonna be at the 50 EMA and SMA based off prior history. But that's not all, folks. That's not all, folks. If we break down below that 20 SMA to add more confluence, where was the bounce? Look at the RSI. You notice when the price bounced at that 50 EMA back in September 2024? What did the RSI do? It found a pivot, right, roughly right here. Right? Pay close attention to the RSI, folks. Then once again, price jacked up, ran up, and then found another bounce at the 50 EMA and SMA. Price then pivoted in the zone again, in line with the support bounce from the previous, from September 2024, August 2024. So if we were to break down again off that 50-20 EMA, which is currently now, SMA, then more than likely we're going to find the support bounce at that RSI weekly trend line, which adds confluence, which has been a historic bounce. So if you want to talk about opportunity, where are you going to find the best lows? Historically speaking, it's always been at this trend line. Folks, I really had to send this message out there because people are buying at these highs. When we've seen historic lows, price will always try and break out of a certain area, EMAs, indicators, whatever have you, and then continue to reject. But if you're trying to catch the historic lows or the historic bounce, just wait for price to touch the 50 SMA and EMA as your absolute bottom because of historic price action history. Repeats itself. So look at the RSI, look at the 50 EMA on your chart on the weekly, and take it from there. No point in throwing in money when, historically speaking, we've seen it time and time again. It likes to respect certain zones, indicators, tools, every single time. And once you have it, you have historic price bounce twice, more than likely, it's going to do it a third time. And if price breaks below, we have the absolute bottom around roughly 84,000 because Bitcoin also likes to retrace 32% from all-time highs after you had a initial ripper from the all-time high to the all-time low. That's 32%. Take it again from the all-time high, from this ripper, from the all-time high to the all-time low, 33.8%, folks. Let me zoom in a little bit. So if we had to average the next pivot point, or I should say the next clone, we're going to clone this. If we're going to take it from the all-time high after an initial rip to the all-time low, the absolute potential bottom on this thing would be around roughly 84,610, folks. Roughly. Okay? Roughly. So if we've seen that price also likes to respect a certain range, 32%, why are we not taking the advantage? Why are we not taking opportunity here, folks? That would also in line with the 100 SMA rolling right underneath the 50. If we break below the 50 SMA and EMA on the weekly, then this would add confluence because that red line is my 100 SMA rolling up underneath the 50 EMA and SMA. So this would add confluence when the time comes in November or October, roughly, this SMA is going to be streaming right in there. It's going to be rolling right up around that time frame. Folks, we have the data. I did the data for you. I did the charting for you. Just be patient. Being patient is the most important, literally the most important skill you can have if you're trying to time the market. Just be patient. I did the heavy lifting for you. I can go on about the MACD. I mean, I posted this on my Discord. Look, the MACD, I just got to do this. I just have to show you this. Okay, what is historic bounce? All right, roughly around this range. So if we have to bring down the MACD in the signal line, the next potential zone of reversal would be roughly around here, which would in line between the data that I presented to you around October, November off this historical bounce. 2 trend line touches adds what? Confluence. Folks, I can go on. I go deep into the TA. I can do my DMI. I can talk about the delta. But I'm not going to make this video too crazy for you. Just be patient, okay? I called this out on August 21st. Please check out my X account. I post a lot of TA on any taker stocks, ETFs, crypto. But most importantly, I want you to stay protected. I want you to not continue throwing money at these highs when we could potentially continue to go low, okay? So thank you so much for listening to me. Like the video, subscribe to my channel, and join the Discord. It's free for now. It's free for now. But join the Discord. Trust me, it's worth your soul, or worth a soul. Thank you guys. Have a beautiful, beautiful day.